Leora stepped off the starship and felt the warm, golden light of the alien city wash over her. Towers of shining metal and crystal rose high into the sky, and bridges of light connected buildings that floated above the streets. She had come as a scholar, curious about the alien culture and their strange technology, but nothing had prepared her for the beauty and the strangeness of the planet. The palace where the young Prince Kale lived was enormous. Its walls gleamed like polished silver, and fountains of colored water danced around the gates. Leora walked through the corridors, her eyes wide with wonder. Servants moved quietly, and robots with soft voices carried trays of glowing food. She had never seen anything like it. That evening, the palace hosted a grand banquet. Aliens of all shapes and colors filled the great hall, their eyes shimmering and their movements elegant. Kale, the young prince, sat at the center, calm and regal. Leora felt nervous but excited. This was her chance to observe their customs up close. She carried a small notebook and tried to remain unnoticed. As the evening went on, she noticed whispers between some of the attendants. A man with long silver fingers leaned toward a tall alien with green scales. "Tonight," the man hissed, "the prince will not see dawn. The poison is ready." Leora froze. Her heart pounded. Poison? For the prince? She could not believe her ears, but the words were clear. The crowd laughed and cheered, unaware of the danger. Kale smiled and thanked his guests, completely unaware of the plot. She thought quickly. There was no time to alert anyone. If she went to the guards, the conspirators might escape. She had read about poisons in human medicine, and although she was not a fighter, she knew she had to act. Leora's mind raced. Could she stop this? Could she take the poison herself to save the prince? Before she could think twice, the opportunity came. A small vial glowed faintly on a golden tray, brought forward by a servant. Leora stepped closer. Her hands shook as she grabbed it. Kale's eyes met hers, curious but calm. The man with silver fingers noticed her movement and frowned. "What are you doing, human?" he asked sharply. I am helping," Leora whispered. She lifted the vial and drank it in one swift motion. The liquid burned her throat, but she did not care. She felt the world tilt, a sudden dizziness washing over her. Her knees buckled and she collapsed to the floor. Gasps filled the hall. Kale reached out instinctively, catching her just before she hit the ground. "Leora," he called, his voice strong but trembling. "Are you?" She could not speak. Her vision blurred, and the light in the room seemed to bend and twist. She thought she was going to die, but then, instead of darkness, she felt a strange warmth. A fire ran through her veins, not painful but alive. Her heart raced, steady and strong. Her body did not ache. She blinked and the dizziness was gone. She stood, astonished, as if nothing had happened. The man with silver fingers stared in shock. "Impossible," he muttered. "She drank it, and lives?" Kale supported her with a steady hand. "You saved me," he said softly. You are very brave." Leora felt her cheeks heat. She had not thought about bravery. She had only acted because she could not stand by and watch someone die. The servants and guests whispered among themselves. The hall was alive with murmurs, questions, and disbelief. Leora realized she had drawn attention to herself, but she did not care. She had saved the prince, and for a moment nothing else mattered. Later, in the medical chamber, alien healers examined her. Strange devices scanned her body, lights flashing in colors she had never seen. "This human is extraordinary," one healer said. "She should be unconscious or worse, yet she is completely unharmed." Leora listened, amazed. She did not understand what was happening. She felt no pain, no weakness. She could feel the poison still inside her, but it no longer burned or spread harm. It was as if her body had accepted it, changed by it. Kale stayed by her side, his usual calm demeanor softened by gratitude and concern. "You risked everything for me," he said quietly. "I owe you my life." I could not let them hurt you," Leora replied, still amazed at her own courage. I had to do something." As the night drew on, Leora sat quietly in the chamber. Her hands trembled slightly, but the fear she had felt earlier was gone. Something inside her had changed, something more than just surviving the poison. She felt stronger, alive in a way she had never known. Outside, the city sparkled under twin moons. Leora looked out at the world, wondering what had just happened and what it meant. She had saved the prince, yes, but she had also awakened something within herself. Something that might change everything. And deep in her heart, she knew this was only the beginning. Leora woke slowly. The chamber was bright, filled with soft lights that pulsed gently like the heartbeat of the palace. She blinked and looked around. The alien healers were still scanning her with glowing tools, moving silently but carefully. Their faces showed a mixture of wonder and confusion. Her body felt different. She stretched her arms and legs, expecting aches or weakness, but there was nothing. Not even a small twinge. She remembered drinking the poison, the dizzying fall, the fear that had clawed at her chest. And now she felt nothing but strength. Her heart beat steadily, her lungs filled easily with air, and a warmth spread through her veins that felt alive and powerful. "Remarkable," one of the healers said, speaking in soft tones. "The human has not only survived, she is enhanced." Enhanced. Leora repeated the word silently. She did not fully understand it, but she felt it in every fiber of her body. She flexed her fingers and could feel her muscles respond instantly, perfectly. She bent her arms, twisted her body, and tested her strength. Nothing hurt. Nothing slowed her. It was as if the poison had changed her, made her immune to harm. Kale sat beside her on a glowing bench. He looked at her with wide eyes, filled with awe and relief. You are alive," he said softly. "More than alive. You are extraordinary." Leora shook her head. "I don't understand it," she said. "I felt the poison. It should have. She stopped. The words caught in her throat. Somehow she had survived. Somehow the poison that could have killed her had left her stronger. The healers stepped back, whispering among themselves. "This human is like no other," one said. "Her body, it adapts to danger. Nothing can harm her." Leora felt a shiver run down her spine. Nothing could harm her. The words sounded strange, almost impossible, but she could feel the truth in them. Her body, her mind, even her spirit seemed sharper, clearer, unbroken. She flexed her fingers and tested herself further, touching a small flame that hovered in a containment field. Normally, heat burned human skin instantly. She did not flinch. She lifted her hand calmly. Nothing. Not a single mark. Kale reached out and touched her shoulder gently. "I don't know what has happened, but you saved me," he said. "You risked your life for me, for us." Leora looked into his eyes. She felt a strange connection, a bond that went beyond words. She had never met anyone like him. Brave, calm, and thoughtful. And yet, she had done what no one else could. She had made the choice to act when the danger was too close to ignore. I couldn't let anything happen to you," she said quietly. "I had to do something. I didn't think about what might happen to me." Kale smiled faintly, a mix of admiration and gratitude. "That is why you are extraordinary," he said. "Not just because you survived, but because you acted when others hesitated." The healers stepped closer, examining her again. Lights danced over her skin, scanning her cells, her heart, her energy. "This human's immunity is complete," one said. "She cannot be harmed by toxins, poisons, or injury. Even her body adapts quickly to threats. She may be the first of her kind." Leora sat quietly, trying to process the words. Immunity to everything. It sounded impossible, but she could feel it in herself. She could sense strength in her bones, fire in her blood, and clarity in her mind. It was as if the poison had unlocked something inside her, something hidden until now. Kale stood and offered her a hand. "Come with me," he said. "You must rest, but soon I want to show you the city. There is much you have yet to see, and perhaps, much you will be able to do." Leora took his hand, feeling the warmth and steadiness of it. As she rose, she realized she was no longer just a human visitor. She was something more. Something powerful and something important. That evening, Kale led her to the palace balcony. The city stretched out below them, glowing with lights that moved like flowing rivers. Ships flew between towers, leaving trails of sparkling color. The stars above seemed closer here, brighter, as if the universe itself were watching them. Leora took a deep breath. She had survived the impossible. She had faced danger without hesitation, and now her life had changed forever. She did not yet know all the ways she could use her new abilities, or what challenges might come next, but she knew one thing clearly: she could face them without fear. Kale looked at her and said quietly, "You are part of this world now, Leora, and perhaps, part of its future." She nodded, watching the city lights. Her heart felt steady, her mind sharp, and a strange excitement bubbled inside her. She was ready for whatever came next. The poison had changed her, yes, but it had also given her something greater. The power to act, the courage to protect, and a chance to become extraordinary. And deep inside, she knew that the story had only just begun. The next morning, Leora woke early. Light from the twin suns of the alien planet poured into the chamber, painting the walls with gold and pink. She stretched and felt no stiffness, no lingering effects of the poison. Her body felt alive, sharp, and stronger than ever. Today she wanted to test herself, to understand what had truly happened to her. Kale entered quietly, holding a small tray of fruit that glowed faintly in the morning light. "Good morning," he said with a soft smile. "I hope you slept well." "I did," Leora replied. I feel different. I want to see how different." Kale's eyes widened slightly. "Different how?" "I want to test my limits," she said simply. "I need to know what I can do." He hesitated, looking around the chamber. "It is dangerous outside. The city can be unpredictable, and the environment, it is harsh in places." "I know," Leora said. "But I must try. I need to understand this power, if it is power." Kale considered her determination and finally nodded. "Very well. But I will accompany you." They left the palace and stepped into the city. Leora felt a strange thrill as she walked among the alien streets. The citizens moved past them with curiosity, glancing at her. She could feel their stares, but they did not frighten her. She felt untouchable in a sense, though she did not boast or act arrogantly. Their first stop was near a construction site, where robotic cranes lifted huge panels of glowing metal. Workers moved quickly, balancing precariously on narrow beams. Leora watched a worker slip slightly. Without thinking, she darted forward and caught him before he fell. She felt no strain, no fear. Her hands were steady, her reflexes quick. Kale raised his eyebrows. "Impressive," he said. "You act with precision even under pressure." Leora smiled faintly. "I can feel danger and I can react. I don't get hurt and I don't panic. It is freeing." Next, Kale led her to a garden where a small controlled flame burned in a containment field. "Try this," he said, nodding toward the fire. Leora approached carefully and touched the flame. Normally, even a small fire would burn human skin instantly. But she felt nothing. The heat washed over her fingers like a gentle wave. She lifted her hand, examined it, and saw no marks, no blistering, nothing. "This is incredible," Kale whispered. "The poison, it truly changed you." Encouraged, Leora moved to test more extreme limits. She jumped from a small cliff nearby, landing perfectly on the rocky surface without a scratch. She ran through the shallow river, feeling the cold water against her legs, yet it did not chill her. She tested sharper rocks, higher drops, and even the mechanical drills of the city workshop, all without injury. Each test gave her more confidence, and she began to understand that she was truly immune to harm. As the sun climbed higher, Leora's curiosity grew. "I want to see if it is just physical," she said. "I want to test everything." Kale looked concerned but nodded. "Then we should explore more carefully. Not everything is as simple as it seems. Even here, danger can be subtle." They walked into a marketplace filled with strange alien plants and chemicals. Leora gently touched glowing fruits, inhaled the scents of herbs, and brushed her fingers against powders that could have been toxic. Nothing affected her. She smiled in wonder. The poison had not only protected her body, it seemed to anticipate harm before it could touch her. But the tests were not only about curiosity. Leora realized she could help others now. When a small cart carrying liquids tipped over, she caught it in time, preventing a spill that could have burned bystanders. When a crate of glass panels wobbled and threatened to fall on workers, she moved faster than anyone could blink and stopped it safely. Kale watched her with admiration. "You are not just immune," he said. "You are clever, quick, and brave. You are already making a difference." Leora felt a warmth in her chest. She had only wanted to survive, but now she realized her new abilities gave her a purpose. She could protect others, not just the prince, not just herself. By evening, she was exhausted but exhilarated. The city stretched below them, alive and beautiful under the twin moons. Leora sat with Kale on a balcony, her heart still racing from the day's tests. "I think I understand now," she said quietly. "I'm not just strong or immune. I can face anything and maybe I can help anyone in danger." Kale nodded. "Yes, but you must also be careful. Your abilities are unique. Some will admire you but others may fear you." Leora looked at him and smiled. "Then I will show them that fear is unnecessary. I will use this gift wisely." As the night deepened, Leora gazed at the stars above. She had tested her limits and discovered the truth. She was extraordinary, but her courage and choices made her powerful, not just the poison. She felt ready for the challenges to come, knowing that this was only the beginning of her journey. She was human, yet she was more than that now. And the universe was wide, full of mysteries and waiting for her to face them. The city was alive with music, laughter, and the shimmer of lights from the grand festival. It was a celebration of unity, marking the joining of distant planets under Kale's rule. The streets were crowded with aliens of every shape and color, moving with elegance and curiosity. Humans were rare here, and Leora drew many eyes, but she did not mind. She had learned that fear did not touch her, and admiration did not sway her. Kale walked beside her, dressed in ceremonial robes that glimmered with threads of gold. "I am glad you came," he said softly. "Today the city is full of joy, but not everyone is here for celebration." Leora raised an eyebrow. "You mean the conspirators?" He nodded. "They have not given up. They will try again." Leora's stomach tightened, not from fear but from focus. She had trained herself, tested her body, and discovered her limits. Now it was time to act to protect the prince and the city. They moved through the festival, watching performers spin light into shapes above the crowd and musicians play strange instruments that sang like the wind. Children ran past, laughing, and Leora felt a sudden warmth. This was what she had fought to protect, even before she understood her abilities. Suddenly, a sharp alarm echoed through the plaza. The crowd froze. Kale's eyes narrowed. "They are here," he said. "Stay close." From the shadows the conspirators emerged. They were not as numerous as the guards, but they were armed with strange devices that emitted bright, dangerous energy. The crowd panicked, scattering in every direction. Leora stepped forward instinctively. She could feel the danger, but she felt no fear. Her body was ready. A beam of energy shot toward a stall, threatening to ignite the glowing liquids. Without hesitation, Leora leaped forward. She caught the falling bottles with ease, feeling no burn, no shock, no strain. The crowd gasped, some pointing in disbelief. Kale's eyes widened with awe. The conspirators advanced, firing again. Leora moved faster than they could anticipate. She dodged their attacks effortlessly, her body sensing every motion. When one tried to strike her, she caught his wrist and gently redirected him without hurting him, showing control as well as strength. "Leora!" Kale shouted. "They are trying to get to me." She nodded, her mind sharp and clear. She blocked each attempt, standing between Kale and the danger. The conspirators realized quickly that their weapons had no effect. Leora was untouchable. She moved like a shadow, protecting the prince without even thinking, guided by instinct and her newfound power. The crowd began to cheer. Aliens who had been frightened now watched in amazement. Some joined the guards, inspired by Leora's bravery and precision. The conspirators faltered, confused and afraid of the human who could not be harmed. Using her quick thinking, Leora led the attackers toward a narrow alley, where guards could easily capture them without anyone being hurt. She used her immunity cleverly, knowing that no device or attack could stop her. One by one, the conspirators were restrained, unable to escape the combination of her strategy and her untouchable body. When the last one was caught, Leora stood in the center of the plaza, her chest heaving slightly but otherwise calm. The crowd erupted into applause. Kale approached, his face proud and grateful. "You have done more than protect me," he said. "You have protected the city, the people, and the festival itself. You are extraordinary, Leora." Leora shook her head, smiling faintly. "I am just doing what I can," she said. "I don't want to hurt anyone. I just can't be harmed." Kale nodded. "That is exactly why you are special. You are not just strong. You are wise and brave, and you inspire others without even trying." The healers arrived shortly after, scanning the plaza and watching her. "Her abilities are unmatched," one said. "She is a guardian of this city now, whether they understand it or not." As the festival continued, Leora stayed close to Kale. She helped organize the crowd, guided the frightened citizens, and ensured that everyone remained safe. For the first time, she understood that her immunity was not just a gift for herself, it was a gift for others. She could act where others could not, and she could protect life without hesitation. When night fell, the twin moons rose over the city, casting silver light across the towers and streets. Leora sat with Kale on a quiet balcony, looking out at the glowing buildings. "I never thought something like this could happen to me," she said softly. "I only wanted to save you, and now I feel like I can do so much more." Kale placed a hand on hers. "And you will. Today you proved that humans can do more than survive. You can inspire, protect, and lead. You are more than a visitor in this world, Leora. You are part of its future." Leora looked at the stars above and felt a sense of calm determination. The conspirators had returned and failed. The city was safe, but she knew challenges would continue to appear. Yet she was no longer afraid. She had the power to face anything, and now she had purpose. And somewhere deep inside, Leora knew that this was not the end of the danger. It was only the beginning of her journey as the human who could not be harmed, and the one who would protect the innocent at any cost. The palace was quiet in the early morning, the soft light of the twin suns reflecting off its silver towers. Leora walked through the gardens, her hands brushing over flowers that glowed faintly in the light. She had spent the past days learning to control her newfound abilities, helping the citizens and protecting the prince. Yet now, standing among the fragrant blooms, she felt a calm she had not known before. Kale approached her, his robes trailing behind him. "The city sleeps peacefully," he said softly. "Thanks to you, the danger has passed." Leora looked at him, a gentle smile on her lips. "It feels strange," she admitted. "To have this power, to be able to face anything, and not just survive but help others." Kale nodded. "It is more than power. It is courage, wisdom, and a heart that chooses to act. That is why you are extraordinary, Leora. The people need someone like you, not just to protect them but to guide them." Leora thought about the festival, the conspirators, and the city she had helped save. She had always been human, ordinary in many ways, but now she realized that humans could be heroes, even in a world far beyond their own. She had taken a risk, faced a poison meant to kill, and had become more than she ever imagined. I never thought of myself as a hero," she said quietly. I did what I had to do." Kale smiled. "That is what makes you one. True courage does not come from strength alone. It comes from the choice to act when others cannot." As they walked through the palace gardens, they passed fountains that shimmered with rainbow colors and trees with leaves that glowed like stars. Leora felt at peace here, yet she knew she could not remain idle. The universe was wide and there would always be challenges. She had a duty now, not just to the prince but to anyone who might need help. A group of children approached them, curious and bright-eyed. Leora knelt to greet them. They had heard of the human who could not be harmed, the one who had saved the city, and now they wanted to see her. She smiled at them, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with her powers. "Can you really do anything?" one of the children asked, his eyes shining. Leora chuckled softly. "I can do many things, but the most important thing is to try to help, no matter what." Kale watched her, pride in his gaze. "You inspire more than you realize," he said. "The people see not just your abilities but your heart. That is why they follow you even without knowing it." Later, in the council chamber, Kale spoke to his advisors. "Leora will be my advisor and protector," he said. "Her courage and wisdom have proven her value. She is not just a human visitor. She is a guardian for this city and for our people." The healers nodded, still amazed at her abilities. "Her immunity is complete," one said. "She is unlike anyone we have ever seen." Leora felt a mixture of pride and humility. She had not sought this honor, yet she accepted it, knowing that her role was important. She had been given a gift, and now she could use it to protect, to guide, and to inspire. That evening, she and Kale returned to the balcony overlooking the city. The twin moons hung low in the sky, casting silver light across the towers and streets. The people below moved peacefully, their laughter and music floating up like gentle waves. Leora felt a deep connection to this place, to the life she had saved, and to the responsibility she now carried. "I feel ready," she said quietly. "Ready to face whatever comes next." Kale placed a hand on hers. "And you will," he said. "You have already faced the impossible and emerged stronger. You are a guardian not just in body but in spirit. The universe is wide, Leora, and your journey is only beginning." She looked out at the stars twinkling above the city and felt a sense of wonder. The poison had changed her, yes, but it had also shown her who she truly was. She was brave, clever, and strong, but most importantly, she chose to use her gifts for good. That choice, she realized, was what made her truly extraordinary. As the night deepened, Leora and Kale sat in silence, watching the city glow under the moons. She thought of the future, distant planets, new dangers, and challenges yet unseen. She did not fear them. She had survived the impossible, discovered her limits, and found a purpose greater than herself. And deep inside, Leora knew that she would face the universe not as an ordinary human, but as a guardian. She would protect the innocent, inspire hope, and prove that humanity could rise to greatness, even among the stars. With a calm heart and a steady spirit, she smiled at Kale. "I am ready," she said. And for the first time she felt that her journey, her true adventure, was only just beginning.